What's up, Tailgaters? You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate. Today, it's time to start predicting some of the biggest games you'll find in week 2 of the 2025 college football season. And we got a dandy for you in Norman, Oklahoma. It's a battle of top 20 teams breaking in newness at the quarterback position. And we are going to find out a ton about these two powerhouse college programs. It's the 15th ranked Michigan Wolverines, the 18th ranked Oklahoma Sooners. Somebody gets a massive win, and the other side has to answer some questions at the end of this nightcap. My name is Nate Bope, otherwise known as Tailgate Nate. I'm a sports media graduate with a massive passion for everything that happens in the world of sports, but especially the world of college football. And if you're like me, a college football nerd, and you want to hear my thoughts during the season, you like what you see and hear in this video, go hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you're locked into everything going on my channel this season. And if you want to support me on a more personal note, join in my journey to reach as high as I can in the sports media professional industry. Follow me on social media at TailgateNate29, Twitter, Instagram, and wherever else you like to peruse through social media. We got a great one here between the Wolverines and the Sooners. We'll dive into everything I have on screen in just a little bit, but I do want to say right out of the gate, by the way, all lines and odds as of recording this video, I would find it very hard to believe if this is not a really tight one possession, likely decided by a field goal game. So it would shock me if Oklahoma covers this 5.5 point spread that they currently do hold. If the line is going to move at all, I think it's going to lean towards Michigan, but I expect Oklahoma to remain the favorite. 46 the over-under, so you're expecting a good bit of defense here in this one, and for some good reason. Now, what did we learn about each of these two teams in week 1? They did not play high-caliber opponents. Michigan played New Mexico. Oklahoma played an FCS opponent in Illinois State. Well, here's what we found out about Michigan. Actually, here's what we found out about both teams. Both teams have got some pretty darn good quarterbacks. Let's start with Bryce Underwood at Michigan last week. I don't know if he necessarily lit the world on fire, but man, did he look really, really good. 251 yards, 1 touchdown. Didn't see him get outside of the pocket at all. Use that athleticism that I think we all know he's got. That's because there was a really good threat in the Michigan backfield we'll talk about later. But man, Bryce Underwood, couple of things could be crisped up if you really want to get nitpicky. But man, overall, did he look really, really good and may have surpassed some people's expectation levels out there. Bryce Underwood was phenomenal in that game against New Mexico. Defense, it's got a bit to clean up. We'll talk about that later. Sticking with the quarterbacks, though, John Mateer for the Oklahoma Sooners. Man, he was also dynamite for this Oklahoma team against Illinois State. John Mateer, only broke the record for the most passing yards in an Oklahoma Sooner debut with a cool 392, 3 touchdowns. Did have the 1 pick in there, but you can forgive that. Did have a rushing touchdown on the ground there as well. John Mateer, one of the better quarterbacks that we saw in week 1. He was absolutely fantastic, and they're going to need him to step up in a big way when you take on a Michigan defense that, look, albeit I don't think looked as impressive as I would have liked it to see, and I'm sure Michigan fans would have liked it to see as well in that game against New Mexico. However, this is a Michigan defense that is still loaded with talent. Let's focus on this bullet point right here because it really was not that impressive against New Mexico. They are going to cook up something special here, and John Mateer is going to need more than just his passing game, right? If you make yourself one-dimensional against this Michigan defense, that's exactly where Michigan has capitalized in previous seasons. And I think they have the talent level and the coaching staff to do that again this year. So, first key of the game here for Oklahoma. You need this run game to help balance out this attack. We did not see Jayden at all in that game against Illinois State. In fact, only 1 time, and he went backwards and -3 yards. No one carried the ball more than 7 times. Javonte Barnes was not that impressive. 7 carries. He only went 9 yards. Xavier Robinson was not that impressive. Torrey Blaylock, okay, he was pretty solid for you. 5.5 yards per carry. But no one ripped off a run longer than 12 yards. The team averaged only 3.2 yards per carry, and you do that against Michigan, well, hey, you can't run the football against Michigan. Your stat line is going to look a lot worse than that. But, man, if you can't find some sort of running rhythm against this Michigan team, they're really going to be able to sell out pressure-wise and in coverage packages against what John Mateer in this past game like to do. He's got a dynamic weapon in Deion Burks that I think Michigan is going to cover pretty darn well here in this game. So this rushing attack, it's got to be able to make some plays. Now on the other side of the ball, Bryce Underwood is going to get baptized by fire. He is being thrown right to the wolves. And for as talented as he is, you get the sense that Underwood is probably going to have that freshman game. And maybe that's not a sense everyone out there is getting. That's just what I happen to believe. I think there's going to be a moment this season where Bryce Underwood looks like a young developing quarterback and a guy that's still focusing on honing his skill set for the collegiate level. This very well could be that game, right? Being baptized in fire is never a fun thing, right? That's like you're supposed to go for a dive and a little dip into the swimming pool, and instead you jump into a pit of lava. Not saying that's exactly one-to-one of what Bryce Underwood's going to be dealing with, but your first game against New Mexico, okay, great, that's fine. That's a game Michigan expects to win anyway. Now you're on the big-time stage, on the road. Prime time on ABC. All the eyes are going to be on you. All the pressure in the world. We saw it crumble Arch Manning last week. Does it happen to Bryce Underwood here? Remains to be seen. We'll see if it does. But the wide receivers are going to have to step up in this game for him. I think we all know what Justice Haynes is capable of. He showed that against New Mexico where he was flawless. 3 touchdowns rushed for, I believe, over 150 yards. I'm going to fact check myself on that here real quickly. Mr. Haynes, 159 yards, 3 touchdowns on nearly 10 yards per carry. He was sensational, and he's going to be a big, big focal point to what Michigan wants to do offensively. But man, this is a wide receiver and a tight end unit that's got to be able to step up around Bryce Underwood. So both teams, both quarterbacks need levels of this offense to take a step in the right direction. You need to be able to balance out this rushing attack with John Mateer's passing ability for Oklahoma and your wide receiver, man. It's got to take a step forward. Justice Haynes is going to get his. He's going to get his marks, probably a touchdown or 2 here in this contest, but you've got to get that wide receiver room working as well as it possibly can here. Okay, so Michigan played a team last year, granted at home. This is a little bit different. They got to go on the road, but Texas came into the big house last year, and this is where I think Oklahoma can start to exploit some of the things that Michigan not necessarily can do defensively, but can really start to wear this Michigan defense out. Texas used a lot of up-tempo, fast-paced, high-octane tactics. My apologies. I think Oklahoma's got the pieces to do that. They have the dynamic quarterback in John Mateer. I think the running back talent is still there. It's just got to find its footing. The offensive line got to do a little bit of a better job at blocking for him. But if Oklahoma can speed this Michigan defense up, 1, you're going to do something that not a lot of teams have been able to do in the past. And 2, you're going to get this Michigan defense out of system. You're going to get them tired. You're going to get them confused. Eventually, there's going to be that lapse in coverage. And that's exactly when John Mateer Deion Burks is going to work its magic in the downfield pass game. So lots of ways that you can open this thing up for the Oklahoma Sooners. However, I think there are going to be a couple different things here that are going to make a big impact. Number 1, we got to find out what this Oklahoma defense is. Say what you will about Michigan's defensive performance against New Mexico. I know I already said I didn't think that they were that impressive. I think they're only going to grow from that game. I think they're going to get better. And this is the defense you still got to watch for, man. It's exactly why Oklahoma's offense cannot be one-dimensional. OU's defense last week held Illinois State to under 175 yards. I think it was close to the 150 mark. You only allowed, I believe, 32 to 34 passing yards. And Oklahoma, quite simply defensively, looked really good. This is a different beast. And I know that Michigan is not a team known for having the most high-octane offense. Look at what Bryce Underwood did last week. He was fantastic. You got to slow down a really good running back in Justice Haynes, so on and so forth. This is the Michigan offense that's mightily improved from last year. You saw that evident against New Mexico. So you really got to find out what this OU defense is. I think that defensive front has got to be able to win the physicality battle. I think you got to find a way to contain Justice Haynes, and you have to force pressure and force Bryce Underwood into quick decisions, because I think turnover margin is going to play a huge factor in this game, specifically from the quarterback room. I do not expect these running back rooms to be fumbling the football all over the place and necessarily these defenses to even force that. Now, if they do, egg on my face. But I think these two quarterbacks right here, both on a very, very big stage, in very different ways and varying capacities, they've got to be able to make the plays. They have got to make the throws. Turnover margin and interceptions from the quarterback room, I think, will be the big difference here, and it's why I swing towards the Oklahoma Sooners. You have the more experienced quarterback. To me, you have, well, not even to me, I'm sure to a lot of people out there, you have the better weapons offensively on the outside, and I think you're going to be better able to exploit what the Michigan defense the defensive weaknesses. I think this is an Oklahoma team that can play up tempo. Remains to see if they're going to do it. But Bryce Underwood, man, big moment for the young gun. And if he delivers, I mean, boy, this is a Michigan team that's going to do some real damage this year. But I think this is one of those games where I don't think Bryce Underwood is going to look horrific, but I do think he's going to struggle in moments. I think Oklahoma's going to end up forcing that big turnover, and the Sooners escape in Norman. This is going to be a very close, uncomfortable game for both teams and fan bases to watch. This is going to be a close and nerve-wracking game. Man, is it going to be fun to watch. Again, I already told you, lean in Michigan with the points, but I'll take Oklahoma to win outright. The Sooners get the massive win at home. I think you find out some good, some bad things about this defense, but overall, I think that turnover that defense is able to force, whether it be early, whether it be late, doesn't matter. It helps Oklahoma, and they get the win 24-21. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Remember to play hard but tailgate harder, and I'll see all you guys in the next video. Goodbye.